Hi guys, it's Tamara. I'm back with another video. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. We are going to talk about something that someone had mentioned a couple of videos ago, and I think it's proper and in place for our conversation on trauma. And our topic today is satanic ritual abuse. I'm going to talk about that. All right, so let's jump in. Thank you so much for those of you who have been subscribed and have been contributing. Thank you so much for doing that. I welcome you back to my channel. You guys are amazing. I love all of your comments. Thank you for leaving them. Thank you for your ideas and your video suggestions as well. If I haven't gotten to your video suggestion yet, don't think I forgot about it. I haven't. I'm going to get there. It's just we've been focusing on so many other things, and I'm trying to do this in some kind of order. So hang in there if I haven't gotten to your suggested video yet. For those of you who are not subscribed, I encourage you to hit the subscribe button. That way you can stick around with us, suggest videos, ask questions, and grow with us in our community. I want to make sure that I give you what you're looking for in this video, but I also want to make sure that you have comprehensive information. The benefits for you today is that you're going to learn a little bit about satanic ritual abuse. It is traumatizing, so I'm going to define it, and I'm going to give you some signs that this is what is happening to you. All right? When you hear the term satanic ritual abuse, what do you think about? What do you assume? Do you feel like you've been involved in that before? Do you have any kind of ideas or any kind of notions about it? A lot of people, when they hear the term satanic, they run the other direction because they know in some form and fashion there's going to be a loss of or reduction of independence, right? There's going to be some kind of reduction or loss of the ability to think and behave independently from the group, right? Or independently from the rituals that they are learning. So most people run from that term. When you mix satanic and ritual and then you add the word abuse, then it becomes 10 times more disturbing to you, because then you recognize that, okay, there's a reduction in independence or a complete loss of it, but there's also something that's ritualistic about it, which means it doesn't end. It's perpetual, right? It keeps going. And then on top of that, the abuse, the term abuse, right? So satanic ritual abuse often includes individuals who are in very small sectors of society. So a tribe, a religious group, a racially motivated, segregated group, right? Like the Ku Klux Klan or the KKK. You also have, in addition to that, mindsets, right? So mindsets within families that have a certain cultural and religious belief system. So satanic ritual abuse tends to occur in those small groups, right? They're like pockets of people who hold a very similar mindset and viewpoint. And they strongly believe in what they're doing, right? Or how they're treating other people who are doing what they encourage them to do. So, you know, the topic is pretty controversial. It's emotional, especially when you delve into the research and you bring aboard theologians and philosophers and psychologists and therapists and trauma therapists. The topic is really controversial. So I'm going to stay away from some of the things that are very controversial, because this would be a 9-hour video. So I want to make this succinct. So I'm just going to touch the surface of this. Okay. Let me show you guys my book. So I wrote this book about 2 years ago, and it was published in 2018. And I'm going to go ahead and put a picture of that over here for you so you can see it. It's a book written to parents and teachers, and it's about suicidal behavior. But in this book, on page 73, I talk about religious cults and the influence of suicide-contagion. And I will post some information about that, which I covered in my book, in the description box below, so that you can learn a little bit more about that religious cult. But they were absolutely, for lack of a better word, insane and unhinged. And a lot of people lost their lives because of the religious cult. So I will put that information down in the description box for you so you can access that story, okay? But I want to give you guys some signs that you are in a satanic ritual cult and that you are experiencing abuse, okay? So the first sign is hypnosis. So what is hypnosis? Hypnosis is basically an activity that puts somebody else in a trance-like state, a trance-like state. It puts you in a mindset of what's known as suggestibility. And what that means is that it's almost as if you dissociate, right? You're here and you're aware and you can hear and you can think and you can feel and you can act. And then when you are in a hypnotic state, parts of who you are kind of pulls away from reality. And so then you're placed in a hypnotic state mindset, and therefore you're in a state of suggestibility where you can actually say things and do things and think things that you wouldn't do in a conscious state. All right. So satanic ritual abuse tends to include that hypnotic state, right? That severe dissociation is what I like to call it, because you're not in your full person. You're somewhere else. So suggestibility and a hypnotic state. Number 2 is groupthink. Groupthink is the idea that if you're in a group full of individuals who have similar qualities, similar beliefs, similar religious beliefs, similar races, you are likely to be influenced just by peer pressure alone. Right? The whole idea is that you are being influenced by a captain or an authority figure in that peer group that tends to have a dominant personality, dominant theories, a controlling disposition, right? And an attitude of superiority. Probably a narcissist, probably a sociopath, probably a narcissist, right? Or a narcissistic sociopath. I'll use that term. So, these kind of individuals usually take the dominant role within that group. So groupthink is another and a second state that you are likely to be in if you are in a satanic occult, I should call it, or cult. 3, love bombing. The person in authority is likely to involve you in love bombing. You're so wonderful. You're so smart. You're such a powerful figure here. You're great. Oh my God. The book that you wrote is fantastic. I absolutely love everything you do. Oh my God. You say something so wise every time. This is for you. This is really for you. Love bombing, right? They throw every wonderful, powerful statement at you in hopes of undercutting you and grabbing your authority, right? You really are kind of being like a puppy in a sense, right? They give you a treat, you do what they want. They rub your chin and they pet you and you do what they want. That is abuse, right? That's why it's called satanic abuse. That's their way of disarming you, all right? Love bombing. The 4th one, pure old sleep deprivation. When you are tired, you are not in your right frame of mind, right? You've lost your frame of reference. You've lost your identity. You've lost your ability to process and think and be logical and rational. And that's exactly what someone in power and authority wants you to do, right? They want you to lose the ability to think for yourself. And if you're sleep deprived, which is sometimes what they do on purpose, you don't have the defense that you need, right? Sleep deprivation can occur if the individual says we're fasting, we're not allowed to sleep, we're not allowed to eat, or they could do things like, hold their rituals at bedtime. And you guys are up till like early morning hours, right? They could get you high on things. A lot of people use MDMA as a way to kind of deepen the experience. A lot of people use date rape drugs, a lot of other drugs as well, to kind of get you in a state of, again, trance-like state, right? To kind of get you in this place where you are dissociating so that they can take the keys and drive off with your car. That's basically what it is. The next one is meta communication. And basically what that means is it's a subliminal message that is being sent, dropping keywords, right? So the person drops so many keywords that, it kind of over controls your mind and your ability to think rationally. That's why we call it meta communication. It's not direct. It's like, here you go, here's a little bit, right? It kind of gets you out of your logical balance frame of mind and puts you in a different state. And you kind of connect to those keywords that they drop. It's really, really evil. But some people are very good at that. There's also a reduction in your values. You start to become emotionally and psychologically attached to the person in authority, and you lose all your values. You lose your point of reference. You lose everything that you once believed, right? It's like you're constantly in a different person, in a different mindset, in a different state, and you are being controlled like a robot, They have the remote control. You are the device. Okay. The next one is guilt and loyalty, right? They guilt trip you and then they try to show you that I'm your loyal partner. They're not, I am. Okay, and again, that's kind of like this manipulative mindset that they have over everybody, because they feel like I'm in this, I'm in this position of authority, I'm over you, there's groupthink at work here, there's love bombing, like they're just throwing everything at you to get you to feel that you are a part of something and that you are thinking clearly, when in reality you're not. So they will guilt trip you, and then they will also show you that they are loyal, okay? And they will also guilt trip you into believing that you need to be loyal to them as well. The next one is gaslighting, and that is treating you a certain way or being abusive to you, and then making you feel stupid when you recognize it, right? I don't know what you're talking about. What? I talk a lot on this channel about gaslighting, so if you go back in some of my previous videos, you will see exactly what that means. But some people, they do use gaslighting very, very well, and it's very manipulative. Acceptance of cult authority, that's another thing that happens. And what happens there is, they use all of these tactics against you, and sometimes they just bomb you with all of these tactics at once, or during a couple of hours, or during an entire week, or over a long period of time. And so then you kind of wear down, you get tired, and you're restless, and you're overwhelmed. And so all you know at that point is, I think I'm supposed to be here, and your mind gets cloudy and you can't figure out where you're supposed to be. It's like being under the influence of drugs. So you begin to accept their authority as truth. And that's the scary part, because then you lose your identity. The last and most important one is financial and emotional commitment. Sometimes they will take your money, take you on retreats, and get you to spend all your money just to manipulate you even further. Sometimes they will also kind of like take or usurp your emotional commitment to them, right? They will steal anything that they can. Satanic ritual abuse is a traumatic situation for a lot of people. They don't see it in the moment. They tend to see it when they step out from it. Thank you so much, guys, for being with me today in this video. I encourage you to give it a thumbs up if it was helpful to you. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And I will see you on Monday with a brand new video. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.